Good morning, Jackednnerdy fans. Welcome to my non-spoiler review for DC's latest release, Blue Beetle. Before I jump into that review though, as always, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and why not hit the link in the description of this video and head on over to our new apparel store. We've got heaps of awesome things on there, including these hoodies with our logo on them. Lots of awesome everyday apparel, gym wear, everything that both someone who's jacked and a nerd would need. So head on over, check it out. And we still got a little bit of time left. We've got a promo code for this month only, celebrating the opening of our store, giving everyone 10% off store-wide. So head on over and check that out. So with that out of the way though, let's jump into it. Blue Beetle. So, originally, I heard that this film was made and was intended to be released on streaming, and then once the film was pretty much done, the executives over at Warner Brothers decided that the film was so good they wanted to go with a wide release, and put it out there in cinemas and what have you. So I had reasonable expectations for this film. The trailers, I don't think the trailers didn't do the most incredible job in creating interest for this film. I did think that the trailer looked a little bit silly, and what have you. You know, lots of slapstick humor crammed into a very short, 1 or 2 minute trailer, and what have you. So I didn't have huge expectations for this film, just because of all the turmoil that was going on at Warner Brothers and DC, and as I said, like the trailers and marketing, I didn't think were all that good. So I had reasonable expectations for this film. I have to say, on the whole, I did enjoy myself on the whole. However, the first half of the film, I didn't really like all that much. I found it to be a little bit silly in its humor and what have you. I felt that they were overcompensating a lot with the comedy and the humor as well. But as the movie progressed and we went into maybe like the second half, I found myself enjoying the second half a lot better than the first half. I will admit I gotta say it's fantastic seeing a Hispanic superhero finally, and seeing the Latinas represented better. I thought that was really, really good. I did think that they did a reasonable job with the casting. Now, I'm going to brutalize a lot of these names, so I do apologize in advance. Obviously, first and foremost, George Lopez. I love George Lopez. I think he's a fantastic comedian. So having him in there was really good. However, again, they leaned too much into the comedy side of things, where I think his character could have had quite a lot of deep and meaningful elements to it. They did show a little bit of it, but it was only very short-lived. Susan Sarandon, absolutely fantastic. Couldn't fault her at all. Again, I'm going to butcher these names, so I do apologize in advance. Bruna, Marquezine, I'm probably completely butchering it. She was quite good. Very beautiful, quite good, but I don't know whether it's an issue with the scripting, the editing, or the acting, but there wasn't enough there. It was promising, but I don't know whether a more experienced actress could have done more with the character, or they just didn't allow her to really flesh out the character, or maybe there was more there, but they edited it out. I really don't know. Her character was promising, but, again, didn't have enough to go on. Now, again, the lead, I don't know, Xolo, Moderna, I don't know. Basically, Blue Beetle, the actor that played Blue Beetle, there were certain aspects of his acting, especially, like I said, in the second half of the film, where I think he did really, really well. And he was quite believable. Like, I think as he kind of, the Blue Beetle kind of character really came to be and what have you, I think he did a really good job. At the beginning, I found him to be a little bit annoying, a little bit irritating. But also, I suppose, okay, small, tiny spoiler alert. He's supposed to be this fresh graduate from college graduate, pre-law. I don't believe it. I honestly did not believe it. Like, there was nothing that he did that made me believe that, A, he was old enough to go to college, B, he had been to college, and C, that he actually had any level of intelligence that would lead me to think that he was pre-law. As far as the portrayal of the character, from what I could see on screen, he looked like a teenage kid in high school. There was nothing about the portrayal of the character, the dialogue, or the acting that made me believe that this kid was coming home from college. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that irritated me a little bit, and again, that's probably partly why the first half of the film I didn't like. I just couldn't believe it and what have you. Like I said, the second half, when he was really kind of digging deep into the kind of the Blue Beetle character and the emotion behind the responsibility and all that I believed a lot more than at the start of the film. So those are just a few observations about the casting and the characters. Apparently Becky G is in this film as well. However, to be honest, I cannot think of her. I don't know anything about. I don't even remember seeing her, to be honest. So to be honest, apparently she's in it, but I have no idea where. So that was my take on the acting. So the storyline itself had a lot of potential. There's this thing, it's from outer space, it chooses you, nothing that you haven't seen in the trailers already. I'm not giving away any major plot points or what have you, because again, non-spoiler review. So it had a lot of premise and what have you, and it could have been really original and all of that. I found myself seeing lots of things that were, for lack of a better word, stolen or taken from the Iron Man franchise. There were lots of things that I'm sitting there and I'm watching, I'm like, I've seen this before. That was Iron Man 1. That was Iron Man 2. That was Iron Man 3. Like, there were lots of, just kind of repeat elements that were taken from Iron Man, which many would agree is the most successful sub-franchise out of the DCEU. And I would agree with that. And they just straight up ripped off Iron Man for many, many parts of it. Rather than trying to come up with something original and different, it was just very much, apart from one or two things, a very big rip-off of Iron Man, in my opinion. like I said, there were a few things that they did different that worked, which but those are integral parts of the Blue Beetle story and are unique to Blue Beetle. But the overall theme of the story and the overall antagonist and everything that they're doing and what have you is all just straight up rip off of Iron Man. So in that sense, I didn't like that either. I'm sitting there going, this is unoriginal, seen it before, blah, 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 blah. So look, I mean, there are some redeeming factors of this film. The fact that it was representing Latinas and Latinos now, and we've got our first Mexican kind of superhero. Absolutely thought that was great. The family dynamic of all the actors and actresses and all that kind of stuff, I loved that. The casting, for the most part, I liked. Few small little issues here and there, but again, I can't quite put my finger on whether that's an issue with the casting, the scripting, the editing, the story. I don't know, so I don't blame anyone specific on that part. I mean, look, I'm glad that they decided to put this movie in the cinemas and give it a real shot at making some money and what have you, rather than just putting it on a streaming platform where a lot of people just wouldn't bother to watch it, and it would probably get lost in streaming land, and most people would never see it. So I am glad that they did a wider theatrical release with this film. I think it will be another box office loss for Warner Brothers. I don't think it's going to make a lot of money, if I'm honest. It may. I hope so, but I don't think it will. It had a budget of $104 million. That was just for making the film. That I think they will make back through worldwide release. However, the additional however many millions that they spent on promotions, I don't think they'll make that back. And I don't think, and with everything that's happening with the changeover to James Gunn's new DC universe, I don't think we'll see a sequel or anything else. Basically, I think this is just going to be a one and done. And we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. So look, at the moment, it's got an IMDB score of 6.7, and it's got a Rotten Tomatoes score of 78%, which is actually surprising to me. I thought it would be a bit lower than that. I personally am going to give it a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5. Like I said, there's just enough in there to get it over the hump and make it an enjoyable experience. However, it is by nowhere near the greatest DC movie of all time. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And to be honest, it can't even compare to the Snyder Universe. I think those films are far above and beyond this film. So, look, head out to the cinemas yourself. If you're intrigued about this film, head on out to the cinemas, see it for yourself, make your own decision, and hit me up in the comments section below. Let me know what your thoughts were on this film. I'd be interested to find out what the wider nerd universe or nerdosphere thinks of this film. Do you rank it compared to the other DC films? I'd be very interested to know. So hit me up in the comments section below. Let me know your thoughts. As I said at the start of the film, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and why not, if you're looking for some new, new apparel, head on over to our apparel store. You never know, you might find something on there that you like. So make some new gym wear, some new stuff to wear around the house. Use that promo code, get yourself 10% off, and we'll catch you at the next video. Until then, guys, stay jacked and stay nerdy.